Have you ever felt like your own body was slowly, quietly working against you? That the energy and freedom you once took for granted are being held back by a force you can't quite see? That feeling. It's not just in your head. For millions, it's a very real, physical process happening silently inside our arteries. It's the root cause behind so many of our health concerns as we get older, from high blood pressure to the constant worry about our heart health. It's something called endothelial damage. It sounds complicated, but it's simply damage to the delicate, single-cell lining of your arteries. And when this lining gets damaged, it triggers a cascade of issues: inflammation, plaque buildup, and high blood pressure. It's the core issue that so many doctors, in their busy 15-minute appointments, simply don't have time to fully address. They might tell you to lower your cholesterol or give you a pill for your blood pressure, and that can be necessary. But that's like constantly bailing water out of a boat without ever bothering to fix the leak. Today, we are going to fix the leak. We're going to walk through 6 powerful secrets, 6 foundational strategies that address the root causes of arterial damage. We'll start with simple, foundational habits and build our way up, step by step, to our ultimate revelation at the very end. A surprising, delicious, and science-backed daily drink that one study showed had a similar effect on blood flow as moderate exercise. You absolutely want to stay for that. This isn't just information. It's a roadmap. Are you ready to begin? First, let's get our community promise and disclaimer out of the way. If you're finding value here and believe in this mission of empowerment for those of us in our prime, please take a moment to subscribe and click the bell. It helps our community grow. And just a quick, important reminder, all the information shared today is for educational purposes. Everyone's health situation is unique, so please consult your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise, or health regimen, especially if you have pre-existing conditions or are on medication. Let's use this knowledge to have informed discussions with them. All right, let's dive into our very first foundational habit. Foundational habit: harnessing nature's free medicine. Let's start with a simple question. When was the last time you thought of a simple walk in the sun, or the very act of breathing as powerful medicine for your heart? It sounds almost too simple to be true, doesn't it? The challenge in our modern world is that we've been conditioned to look for complex solutions in bottles and prescriptions, often overlooking the profound, free, and readily available tools that nature provides. We spend more time indoors than any generation in history, and we've forgotten how to breathe in the way our bodies were designed to. This leads to a deficiency in a critical molecule for our artery health: nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the body's natural relaxing signal for your blood vessels. When levels are high, your arteries are flexible and open, allowing blood to flow freely. This means lower blood pressure and a reduced risk of dangerous clots. When nitric oxide levels drop, however, your arteries become stiff and constricted. Therefore, blood pressure rises, and the risk of clotting increases dramatically. To truly grasp how this works, let's use an analogy. Imagine your circulatory system is like a vast, beautiful garden hose. When nitric oxide is abundant, that hose is new, flexible, and wide open. Water flows through it effortlessly, reaching every corner of the garden. But when you're deficient in the things that produce nitric oxide, it's like that hose has been left out in the sun and cold for years. It becomes stiff, brittle, and narrow. You have to crank up the pressure at the spigot just to get a trickle of water out the other end. That increased pressure is exactly what happens inside your body. Our first secret, then, is about making that hose flexible again using 2 of nature's most powerful tools. The solution is twofold and wonderfully simple. First, the sun. Getting sensible sun exposure on your skin doesn't just produce vitamin D, which is itself a potent booster of nitric oxide. Half of the sun's rays are also infrared light, which a growing body of research suggests directly stimulates your cells to produce more of this vital molecule. It's a 2-for-1 benefit that costs nothing. Second, breathe through your nose. This may sound strange, but your paranasal sinuses are a major production site for nitric oxide. When you breathe through your mouth, you bypass this entire system. By simply making a conscious effort to inhale through your nose, you are delivering a steady, direct dose of this artery-relaxing gas into your lungs and bloodstream with every single breath. It's your body's built-in delivery system, and most of us are ignoring it. Essential strategy: resetting your body's internal machinery. Now that we've covered the free and easy things you can do, let's talk about two slightly more active strategies that are commonly discussed but often misunderstood: exercise and fasting. We hear about them all the time. Move more, eat less. But it's rarely explained why they are so critical for this specific concern of plaque in our arteries. At the heart of this is what happens to cholesterol in our body. We've been taught to fear cholesterol, but it's not the villain we think it is. The real issue arises when it gets damaged, inflamed, and ends up stuck in the artery wall, forming plaque. The body has a natural cleanup crew for this, a process called reverse cholesterol transport, which is designed to carry that cholesterol away from the arteries and back to the liver for safe disposal. Where things get complicated is that as we age or our lifestyle becomes more sedentary, this cleanup process can become sluggish and inefficient. Think of it like a city's sanitation department going on a partial strike. The garbage trucks are slow. They don't visit every neighborhood, and the trash starts piling up on the streets. That pileup is the plaque in your arteries. Now, when it comes to exercise and fasting, it's especially important for us to approach it with awareness. If this involves a new exercise routine or a major shift in your diet, please remember to start gently and listen to your body. Some of these strategies might be more suited if you're aiming for a higher level of fitness, while others can be wonderfully adapted for consistent, gentle progress. And, as always, it's wise to discuss any significant changes with your doctor. Our goal here is empowerment through knowledge, so you can make the best choices for your unique situation. The significant benefit comes from understanding what these two actions actually do. Regular, moderate exercise is one of the most powerful ways to put that sanitation department back to work at full capacity. It stimulates your body to produce more HDL, the good cholesterol, which acts as the garbage trucks in our analogy. More exercise means more trucks on the road, actively clearing out the debris from your arterial streets. Fasting, or simply giving your body longer breaks between meals, triggers a different but equally powerful process called autophagy. To put it simply, it's your body's deep cleaning and recycling program. When you're not constantly digesting food, your cells have the energy and the signal to go into repair mode. They identify old, damaged components, including the elements that can contribute to plaque, and break them down to be reused or eliminated. It's the ultimate form of cellular spring cleaning. This isn't about starvation. It can be as simple as finishing dinner a little earlier and having breakfast a little later, creating a 12 or 14-hour window for your body to reset and repair. Critical insight: confronting the sugar deception. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The one thing that is doing more damage to our arteries than almost anything else, yet it's hidden in nearly 80% of the foods on our grocery store shelves. I'm talking about sugar and refined carbohydrates. The great deception, and a core health challenge, is that we've been told for decades that the fat and cholesterol in our diet are the primary enemies of our heart. We were pushed towards low-fat, high-carb foods. But what science is increasingly telling us is that the true arsonist setting the fire inside our arteries is sugar. Here's a fact that should stop you in your tracks. A normal blood sugar level is equivalent to having just 1 single teaspoon of sugar dissolved in your entire bloodstream. 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Yet, the average American consumes somewhere between 50 and 100 teaspoons of sugar every single day, often without even realizing it. Hidden in breads, sauces, dressings, and so-called healthy snacks. How is this possible without our blood sugar being off the charts? The answer is a hormone called insulin. When you eat sugar or refined starches, your body floods with insulin to get that toxic excess sugar out of your bloodstream as quickly as possible, stuffing it into fat cells or your liver. To understand the damage, let's imagine your delicate artery walls are like the inside of a copper pipe. A healthy diet is like clean, pure water flowing through it for years, leaving it pristine. But a high-sugar diet is like pouring a corrosive, gritty sludge of salt water and sand through that same pipe, day after day. It scratches, inflames, and quite literally rusts out the lining. That damage is the endothelial damage we talked about. Therefore, the body, in its wisdom, tries to patch up that rusty, damaged pipe with a plaster made of cholesterol, calcium, and protein. That patch is plaque. The plaque isn't the initial cause. It's the body's response to the constant, sugary corrosion. This is why our next secret is so vital, dramatically reducing your intake of sugars and refined carbohydrates. By doing this, you remove the corrosive sludge from your system. You give your artery walls a chance to heal. You'll reduce the inflammation that triggers the whole plaque-forming cascade. A study showed you can remove up to 40% of the fat from your liver. Fat that's made from excess sugar in as little as 14 days on a low-carb diet. It is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful levers you can pull for your arterial health. And remember, when we discuss a significant dietary shift like this, it is always best to do so in consultation with your healthcare provider to ensure it's the right fit for you. The protective secret: assembling your calcium control team. We just talked about how plaque is a patch made of cholesterol, protein, and calcium. Let's focus on that last ingredient for a moment. Calcium. It's a mineral we associate with strong bones and teeth. So what is it doing hardening our arteries? The concern isn't with calcium itself, but its location. We need it in our skeleton, not in our soft tissue. What happens is that as we age, our body's internal traffic control system for calcium can get confused. It starts depositing this mineral in the wrong places, like our artery walls and heart valves, leading to stiffness and hardening of the arteries. This is arterial calcification, and it's a major contributor to high blood pressure and heart risk. Many people think taking less calcium is the answer, but that can be dangerous for bone health. The real challenge lies in a lack of proper management. To get this right, you need a dedicated management team. Think of it like a major construction project. You have truckloads of building materials, calcium, arriving on site every day. Without a manager and a foreman, those materials will get dumped anywhere, blocking roads, cluttering walkways, and creating a huge mess. That mess is the calcification in your arteries. You need a team to direct the materials to exactly where they are needed. The solution is to hire the right calcium control team for your body. This team consists of two crucial yet often overlooked nutrients: magnesium and vitamin K2. First is your site manager, magnesium. Magnesium is the master mineral that controls where calcium goes. It acts as a natural calcium channel blocker, preventing calcium from flooding into the soft tissues and blood vessels where it doesn't belong. It also has the wonderful benefit of helping the smooth muscles in your artery walls relax. When your arteries relax, they widen and your blood pressure naturally goes down. Magnesium is the antidote to the tension and stiffness caused by misplaced calcium, but the manager needs a foreman to handle the deliveries. That's vitamin K2. While vitamin K1 is known for blood clotting, K2 has a completely different job. It acts like a specialized GP's delivery service. It activates proteins that literally pick up calcium from your arteries and other soft tissues and transport it directly to your bones and teeth, embedding it where it belongs. A groundbreaking study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association has shown the vital role K2 plays in preventing arterial calcification. Without enough K2, the delivery trucks are just driving around aimlessly. Together, magnesium and vitamin K to form an unstoppable team. Ensuring the calcium you consume builds a strong skeleton, not stiff arteries. The advanced tactic: unlocking reverse cholesterol transport. Let's revisit that idea of plaque cleanup. We know exercise helps, but what if we could supercharge the process? What if we could actively encourage our body to dissolve and remove the plaque that may have already built up over the years? This is where we get into a more advanced understanding of cholesterol. A common point of confusion comes from the oversimplified story we've been told. LDL is bad. HDL is good. The end. But the reality is far more nuanced. As we've discussed, the body has a brilliant system called reverse cholesterol transport to remove cholesterol from the arteries using HDL particles. The challenge is that for many people, this system isn't working optimally. We need specific nutrients that act like catalysts to kick this cleanup process into high gear. Imagine the plaque in your arteries is like a stubborn clog of grease in a drain pipe. You can try running a little warm water, the body's basic effort, but it won't do much. To really break down and flush out that stubborn clog, you need to add a powerful, specialized drain cleaner that dissolves the grease and allows it to be washed away. That's precisely what our next set of tools does for the plaque in your arteries. Our drain cleaner has two key ingredients. The first is a B vitamin you may have heard of, niacin, or vitamin B3. Niacin is a powerhouse when it comes to supporting this cleanup process. Health experts have noted for years that it can significantly boost HDL levels, our garbage trucks, but it also improves the function of those trucks, making them more efficient at grabbing cholesterol from the artery wall and beginning the transport process back to the liver. Once that cholesterol gets back to the liver, however, it needs a way to be processed and removed from the body for good. This is where the second ingredient comes in. Healthy bile flow. Supported by bile salts. Your liver produces bile to digest fats, but bile is also the primary route for your body to excrete excess cholesterol. If your bile is thick and sluggish, or if you've had your gallbladder removed, this excretion pathway can be compromised. It's like the recycling plant is backed up, so the garbage trucks have nowhere to unload. Supporting healthy bile flow ensures that the cholesterol pulled from your arteries actually leaves your body. This two-part strategy, using niacin to enhance the removal and ensuring healthy bile to handle the disposal, is a powerful tactic for truly cleaning the pipes. The ultimate revelation. The exercise in a cup discovery. We have built the foundation. We've talked about nature's medicine, resetting our machinery, avoiding the sugar trap, and assembling the right team of nutrient guardians. But now, we arrive at our final and perhaps most exciting revelation. The one I promised you at the beginning. What if there was a simple, delicious drink you could have each day that could actively help your body heal your arteries from the inside out? Something that research has shown can trigger the same kind of positive blood flow response as a session of moderate exercise. It sounds too good to be true, but the science is compelling. And it centers on a raw, natural ingredient that most people only know in its highly processed form. I'm not talking about sugary hot cocoa or a milk chocolate bar. I'm talking about raw, minimally processed cacao powder, the stuff chocolate is made from, but before it's been roasted at high temperatures and stripped of its most powerful compounds. The magic is in its incredibly high concentration of plant-based polyphenols called flavonols. Here's the stunning result. These flavonols in raw cacao have been shown to be a potent trigger for the enzyme in your body that produces nitric oxide. Remember nitric oxide? It's the master molecule that tells your arteries to relax, widen, and allow for healthy blood flow. So, while sunlight and nasal breathing give you a gentle, steady supply, high flavonol cacao acts like a powerful booster switch. Let's use one final analogy. If your body's ability to produce nitric oxide is like a factory, aging and lifestyle factors may have caused that factory to slow down, with half the workers on break. Consuming high flavonol cacao is like the factory owner walking in, flipping on all the lights, and announcing a massive bonus for production. Suddenly, every machine whirs to life, and the factory starts pumping out nitric oxide at full capacity again. This isn't just theory. A fascinating clinical trial, which I'll link to below, directly compared to vasodilation, the widening of arteries, in people after consuming high flavonol cacao versus after a period of moderate exercise. The results were remarkably similar. That's why I call it exercise in a cup. Another study found that daily consumption could actually reverse arterial stiffness, making arteries more flexible and youthful, and the effects are cumulative, meaning they build over time, teaching your body to become a more efficient nitric oxide producer on its own. So, how do you do it? It's simple. Take 1 to 2 tablespoons of Hika Holiday, organic raw cacao powder. Mix it with warm water, not boiling, as extreme heat can damage the flavonols. You can drink it just like that. If you want to create an even more powerful effect, you can add a scoop of beetroot juice powder. Beets are one of the few foods that contain dietary nitrates, which your body can convert directly into nitric oxide. So, you get a double benefit. The beetroot powder gives you nitric oxide, and the cacao powder stimulates your body to make more of its own. It's best to have this drink about 2 hours before or after your morning coffee, as the caffeine can slightly interfere with the full vasodilation effect. You can add a pinch of sea salt or even some magnesium powder to it. It's a simple, enjoyable morning ritual that can have a profound impact on the health of your heart and your entire circulatory system. And there you have it, our ultimate revelation. It's not a complicated prescription, but a simple, powerful tool grounded in nature and backed by science. So, we've covered a tremendous amount of ground today. We started with our foundational habit of harnessing the free medicine of sunlight and breath. We moved to the essential strategy of resetting our body with exercise and fasting. We confronted the critical insight of the sugar deception, assembled our protective secret, the calcium control team of magnesium and K2, and unlocked the advanced tactic of supercharging our cholesterol cleanup crew. And we finished with our ultimate exercise in a cup discovery. Each one of these is a stepping stone on the path back to vitality. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these insights? Perhaps it was the simplicity of nasal breathing, or the eye-opening secret about vitamin K2, or even our ultimate game-changer with cacao, resonated with you the most. Which one are you thinking of trying first? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your journey and your wisdom enrich our entire community. If you found this journey through these health discoveries valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others find us. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more powerful strategies tailored for our fantastic community. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep thriving.